Alright, start off putting my service spools on the sides. Took off the chain cover. I just took off the bolt here and here, which takes just make sure of that, 5mm. And then all I did was just push the pin all the way in the back here. There's a pin back there. You just push the pin in and pop it out. Then over here on the top, where the cover seats, all I did was just, let me turn on the flashlight. All I did was just use this bracket here, and just pry it against the other pin until it made a little popping noise. When it made it, I popped out the whole cover. And as you can see, I have no cover, it's on the side. So I'm just gonna jack it up and start with the process of taking the cheap trash out. The cheap trash, so I'm gonna call it, because I really don't like the setup. We're gonna look at the chain alignment as it is right now. And then, all right, I am gonna verify that this motorcycle's in neutral. And it is. Yep, perfect. Alright, so now we're going to be looking for the tightest spot of the chain. I'll try my best. Just touched up and down. Let me see if you guys can see that. Yep. Yep, alright. I'm going to touch up and down. I'm going to rotate this tire 90 degrees. So that's 90. Another 90. I'm looking for the tightest spot on the chain. I'm going to pick this side. So I rotated 8 times looking for the tightest spot on the chain. I'm going to take a measurement. This is what I actually used to dial this chain in. Right now I'm going to get you guys a nice view of what's going to happen right now. Turn on the flash. I'm going to turn this dial counterclockwise to loosen it up. I'm going to go off this little edge here, right there, to bring this dial gauge down. So I'm around 50 millimeters right now. So anyways, I'm going to adjust it. I'm going to bring it down to 42 millimeters once I put my my STG captive sliders on. Captive chain adjusters. Tools needed for the job: mallet, 2 12 millimeters combo wrenches. You got a 5mm. Then you got a 17mm combo wrench, Phillips screwdriver, Tecton. All I got is a torque wrench that goes mid-range, 70 to 80 foot-pounds. Then you're gonna need a 27mm socket for that nut right there. Nice and tight. It's basically what you're gonna need for this job. But I am going to use a small torque meter for this. So I'll be adding to that package this right here. We got right there. A little torque wrench right here. with the 5mm, and that should be for here. So I already ripped up the driven package into shreds. So you got 2 blocks. One is longer, a bit larger than the other, or longer. This side, long side goes on the chain side, and short side goes on the brake side. $90, a little less loose, but a little less. A little less, I'm going to go off of that side. So, I'm going to go ahead and loosen this guy up a little bit. Going to go off that little top ledge I just showed you guys earlier. Come on, there we go. Alright, so go off that top ledge right there, square it off with that, go down, and I'm right now at 49 to the center of that link. I'm at 50 or 49-ish. If I go down a little bit, it'll move a little bit, but that's where I'm at. Well, I do have a long breaker bar. I think it's too extremely long. It's like a 6-footer almost. Put my 27mm on there, break it loose. So yeah, you want to have a breaker bar for it. Break this loose, counterclockwise. Alright, now I'm going to get my ratchet. Now, note, we do have a nut, have a washer, and then the alignment bracket, which I don't like. Put down on the floor. So as you can see, I do have my tire supported by 2 of these blocks. I'm going to go now on the other side. I'm going to tap this a little bit. It's going in. As you can see, I'm losing my slack on the chain. It just went down like probably 5 mil or more, I don't know. Go over here. Finish pulling it out. Okay, so got everything out, got the axle out. All I got left is the 2 adjusting nuts. I'm going to loosen them up right now. There we go, soft. I'm just going to take everything out. Now this is the trash I've been dealing with. So every time I adjust it here, this would partially come out. And then every time it comes out, that's what happens. Or at least it'll look a little crooked out like that, just a little bit. I knew it was wrong, so I had to bash it in and just leave it straight. This will fix the whole problem. It'll stay still the whole time. So, yep, I'm gonna take this off. Gonna do the same thing for the other side. Take this off. A little washer. Trash out. Good stuff in. Now this is how it looks like. I'm gonna put some lithium grease in there. That snap ring is a rust point, so I'm gonna put some grease in there. So what I used for this was a little bit of muck off. This is really good stuff for the chain. So how much more for this being in an enclosed area? So I think that'll do a great job. I'm just gonna go ahead and bring this in. Oh man, this is so beautiful. So as you can see, the cams should be like that. Top to the top right, then bottom left. because that's basically the gap you got. Top right, bottom left. So it's going to go in. I'm going to bring it a little more. Put that in. Oops. My bad. There we go. One way. One only way. You see this little tab here? That tab is for this back tab. Front here, see this edge? That edge is for this edge. So there you go. Now that's the cams working against me, so, or I think I'm just still too tight on the, so, yeah, it's the cams. So let me try to see if I can get it at a good angle. What am I looking for here? There we go. Right there. There we go. Perfect. See that? Nice flush. Flush perfection, I'll call it. How about that? We got Glock perfection, and this is just flush perfection. So I'll leave that right there. More or less right there. Now I'm going to tighten these down to all right, so we want to make sure is that these cams are flush on their edges right here. So I'm going to go back in. Make sure it stays flush on the edge. So you see that they want to move. So I'm putting it on wrong again. No, it's okay. So yeah, flush on the edges. These have to sit flush. I'm going to go ahead, introduce them again. There we go. And start torquing again. Alright, I'm already feeling resistance. Alright, now that everything is there, just going to bring this nut back. And align that hole best as I can, right around there. Don't want to go too over, but not too much either. Want to go just right. So we'll see once I put the shaft in. I'm going to do the other side. Take the two nuts off and do the same thing. For the trash to come off. Take them off real quick. Put this right in. But I'm going to put some muck off on the little snap ring in there. Alright, so I'm making sure that my cams are seated all the way in. When I put that in, then I'm going to tighten. I'm going to just finger torque them in so they stay still where they're at. I need them to stay still. Alright, so they're in. And again, only one side. You got the indented side over here, and then you got the long side over there. So I'm just going to put this in. Yeah, right, without this, right? Put this in real quick. So what I did was I did fit them in a little loosely. You just want to make sure that the cams are seated, angled like that. Make sure that they're nicely seated. And I just put them in a little loosely so they would have play. And now they're going in pretty nice. Make sure that they're always seated though. There we go. Alright, there we go. Should start going in any minute. This is where the mount's gonna come into play. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the everything seats flush. Everything is flush. Here's the flush view. My nail doesn't fit. So alright, so I'm just gonna torque it down. Everything should have stayed flush. Let me turn on the flashlight and take a quick peek. Yep, cams are seated and at an angle. None of them moved. So I went in there with the cams loose, and then it didn't just slide in. It has a little resistance, so this part may be a little bigger than usual, but it will fit in perfect. So right now I'm going in with the rear one. You can see as I go in, it's tightening and it's going down. What has me a little worried is the top one, if it's going flush or not. I'm hoping it is. I really can't see too well up there. It's a bit uncomfortable. But I'm hoping it is. I cannot see. Let's see. It seems okay. So I'm just going to start torquing down on it. Give you guys a nice premium view of that. Let me go back. On zoom so it can be seen better. Alright. Keep going down on it. Alright, that's tight. So what I'm hoping is that the top one is seating just like the bottom one. Yep, it did. So, seat and seat. Come on, there we go. All right. So 16/16, everything looks nice and flush. Yep, everything is tight. Check one more time. Yep. And those are aluminum cams, so you want to be careful. So, tight. Now I'm just going to bring this back. I'm going to align these two holes. That should be good. And then I might put some grease here lightly. I'm going to see what I can put on it. And I'll be right back. So it does recommend here lithium soap based grease, and as we can see here it does specify rear wheel axle washer axle nut. Alright, so here's the shaft. Get it up. So you can make a mess both ways, either on your hand and just rub it on the shaft, or you can just put it all on the shaft. I'm just going to do it on the hand. Get a nice blob on there and it's on the shaft. And there we go. Nice lubed up shaft. Make sure this is good. I'm gonna put this shaft in there. Yep, everything's lining up. I want to make sure it lines up on the other side. Let's see where we're at. And it's almost there. That means I have to bring the tire up just a little bit. By hand. Alright, so I'm going to do. Let me center it a little more. Yep, that should be good. There we go. There we go. There we go. Should be able to finish in by hand soon. Start tapping it in with the mallet. There it is, almost flush. Now comes the chain alignment. You can see we are slacking big time. Look at that. Look at that slack. Horrible. That I can explain later when we're done with the video, but this is going to be my main focus. See, it's already coming up because I'm going up over here. The more I come up, the more it comes back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on this side first, right here. I'm going to bring it up to 42. And then once I'm at 42, I'm going to go on the other side. And I'm going to start measuring with my caliper gauge, left and right, get it absolutely perfect. Tighten it up with the back rear nut over here. And that should be it. Because this is nice. This will not come up. I won't be having to bash this in place and then check the alignment, bash in place, check alignment, bash in place, check alignment, check over here again, go back and forth. And I'm going to put the rod also, the chain alignment rod at the same time. So I'm going to do everything at the same time. So I need to set everything up and we'll be back again. I'm going to show you guys where we're at on the chain right now. Turn on the flashlight. See, we start off on the inner link and it's already going crooked. See that? So what's going to happen soon is once I start aligning left and right, this is going to start going straighter. So you can see it right there. The very tip is just starting to hit all the links. You start off on the very inner link, and all of a sudden it starts covering the link, and now we're almost covering the outer link. So we know we're misaligned. So we got that going for us. I'm going to go with the gauge, go off this little rib here and bring it down, see where I'm at. So I'm going to go all the way down to the center of this link. That's where the book states. I'll show you a photo of that soon, and we'll resume with the adjustment left and right of the nuts. I want to do this side first and then focus on the other. Alright, now I'm going to get under and see where we're at. Loosen this up a little bit. Yep, perfect. I think I'm going to grease this tool. It's a little... You know what? I'm going to flip this thing. Flip it over. Take the measurement from the back. That way I can sit flat on the links. Alright. Go up there and see where we're at. So from the rib all the way to the center of the link, we are exactly at 62 right now. I'm just going to leave this here. I'm going to start bringing it up. I'm going to start going up until I get to that 42 mark. I'm at 45. All right, either way. All right, so I'm at 42 right there, because I'm going to adjust the other side. And what I'm going to do is, right here, on this threaded rod, you can see, right now, our chain is still misaligned. You can see that it's tilting a little bit to the right. No change on that yet. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take my step gauge, digital caliper, and I'm going to step the threaded bolt to the back of the nut. By doing that, I'll make sure that I'm parallel on both sides. So I'm going to just bring this flat on the back of the threaded bolt. And we're at 24.80. Let's see the other side real quick. On the other side, we're at 23.12. I'm going to bring this out and see where we're at. 25.46. I went a little too much. $24.86. I want to go a little. Let's see where I'm at now. 24.49. 24.60. 24.67. 24.86. Go back in here. Tap it. Hold the tire a little bit. Let's see where I'm at now. $24.97. $24.25. Come on, buddy. All right, I'm at 24.85 right there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my magic marker here, my dry erase, put it right here in between the link, and rotate it a little bit so everything can fall in place. And then see where I'm at on the nuts. Then go back and forth, compare measurements, and then put everything back. We'll see where we finish at. So I'm going to stop it right here, and you guys already seen the basics of it. You go back and forth. At least that's what I'm doing. I'm going back and forth, checking on the threads with the caliper gauge, making sure they're both exactly parallel. And I'm going to take this chain alignment tool real quick off. Since I moved the chain, I don't want to destroy this part. I'll check the chain alignment later. That won't be a biggie once we have our slack. So we'll stop it right here. I'm going to make everything parallel and then come back. Alright, so this is where we're at. I want to give you guys the best shot possible. We start on the inner link here, the inside, and look at how it ends up on the inside all the way to the back. See that? That's what we're looking for. Straightness. So, again, I'm going off my gauge. I'm step gauging on both bolts. Right here. And I'm using this little step here. See this little step in the back? I'm using that little step to hit on the bolt back here. Then I'm hitting on this thread all the way flush to the nut in the back here, the adjusting nut. So I ended up with 25.57 on the caliper side, which is this side, And then I ended up with 2551 on the chain side. And the results are a straight chain and a 0.06 millimeters difference, which is almost nothing. It should be perfectly straight. Now, something might change, something might not. Once I put the nut back and put everything back, that where it might get a little weird, but it shouldn't. Theoretically, it shouldn't. The shaft is has the perfect diameter to make everybody square up left and right. So it really shouldn't be any difference, but we'll see once I put the nut and stuff back on. And I'm going to put a little bit of lithium grease on the back washer, on the nut, just like the book says. And we'll keep on going at it. Alright, so a little bit of lithium here, the washer splattered around a little bit, not a big deal. A little bit of lithium on the washer. Alright, so we got everything there lithium based. Put everything in. As you can see, I haven't put the lock nuts in yet because, again, I don't know what's going to happen once I tighten this axle nut. But I'm going to try something. You know what? I'm going to lock them in right now. We'll see what happens, because everything should stay locked. What I don't want moving at all is this nut while I'm going at it. So 12 mil. Sorry, guys. Not the flashiest kind with the video, but yep, this is a 17. So I'm just going to go as gentle as I can with this nut. I'm going to be observing that nut there. Make sure it doesn't move. Alright, I know the nut is about to touch it. And there it is. It's touching. So now I'm going to grab the 17 mil, hold it really gently, make sure I don't move that hand, and tighten this nut. As gently as possible. I know at some point something's going to move slightly, and it's always going to happen, but the more kinder and gentler you are with this, the less it'll move. So that should be locked in place. I'm going to lock the other one real quick. So I'll leave everything where it's at. I'll bring you guys over here real quick. Sorry for that. I'm going to go really gently, observing that this nut don't move. See if I can focus the camera. Yep, there it goes, focused. Going as gently as I can. Yep, it stopped. Finger tight. I'm going to call it gently tight. Going gently with this wrench. There. I try to keep as still as possible and gently just tighten that nut. Alright, that's tight. So now we got everything tight. Now I'm going to tighten up this guy to 77 foot-pounds. There we go right there. Let me make this phone focus. There we go. Tighten this guy up real quick. As you can see, I haven't taken off my chain. Again, theoretically it shouldn't move. Everything should stay the same. Make sure everything is aligned. Yep, everything is perfect. Alright, I'm going to go to 77 foot-pounds and see what I got. If if anything moved. Torque wrench. And bring it up to 77. Alright. 70. 77. Right there. Alright. We'll see what we get now. Right now I'm looking at the chain rod that looks for my alignment. There we go. Perfect. It's tight. So let's note a couple things. Let's look at the chain real quick. Again, we start off on the inner link right there. And I'm going to go back slowly so you guys can capture this with me. Start off on the inner link, inner link, inner link, inner link, inner link. I can see it all the way to the front, so that's perfect. Alignment is perfect. I'm going to check the slack. Make sure nothing changed on the slack. Should be. I think I moved the camera. There we go. So I'm going to go right here, right off that little ledge. Yeah, right now I'm at 40, 41, 2, 42. Wow, I had stayed at 42 this whole time. Can't believe it. It did stay. All right. Yep. 42. So what happens if I touch the chain a little bit? Put my little magic marker in between. Marker on the sprocket, and I make everything just wobble in place. Let's see. Let's see where we're at. All right. Let's go back. Check this out again. Sorry guys, not the best at this stuff. Making videos, just trying to give you guys the best content I can, but alright. I got a problem up here. Let me take out this chain link thing. There we go. Alright. Let's see where we're at. Off the little rib. Alright. We're right now at 1, 2, 3. We're at 43 and a half. I'll leave it right there. I'm good with that. Let's see. 44. 41, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, so let me do it again. From the rib to the center of that link would be 1, 2, 3. Just at 44, probably 45 if I bring it down a little bit. If I touch it down, I'm at, if I bring it down a little bit and I take a measurement, I'm around 47. Rib to center of the link. I'm at 42. When I bring it down by hand, I'm at 45. So, yep, I like that. I'm good with that. 42, 45. The book. Let me go to the next page and grab my cleanest hand. Let's see. Chain slack, blah, blah, blah. Where are we at? Okay. Adjust drive chain slack, refer to page 317. So I'm going to go to 317. That should be backwards. 318. There we go, right here. So, you can see when you're gonna measure your chain, you go off from the rib and you pull down. Once you pull down, that's where you take your measurement. You're not pull down, you know, you just lightly just bring it down, and then you check your measurement A. A should be from the rib to the center link, which you guys already saw for almost like 8 to 9 minutes. Sorry for the time consumption, but that's what it takes if you want to do it really. I mean, sometimes I just go to extreme just to do it exactly right the first time and not have to come back to it again. So I believe we're good. We got our slack. Now I'm gonna check the chain alignment again with the rod here. Sorry for that, guys. My phone gave out. So I'm gonna set this up real quick. Put the phone on the stand. Give you guys a premium view. Probably should be more higher, but let's see. Let me bring the feet up. There we go. Feet should help out. Yep. All right. So now we have a high enough view. We look down. We go back and forth. Let me pick this link. I'll make sure that this. Yep, everything looks pretty. Let me take a peek first. Oh yeah. Yeah, this looks nice. Yep. So everything I'm seeing here is dead on. Alright, so let me bring you guys in. You can see here, now with my newer adjustment with the STG driven, now I'm covering the inner link, and if we follow it carefully, cover. Everything's covered. Everything is dead on straight. The chain is directly looking at the other sprocket downhill. So we're done. This is the job. Everything's torqued already. I already torqued this down to 77 foot. I have nothing else to do. I'm just going to bring the bike down, put the covers back. It should be that one right there, that black one, and that should be it, guys. It's the end of the video. This is how I adjust my chain. You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to put my BPA just to see where we're at with the BPA. It should be consistent, but we'll see where we're at. Bring the legs down real quick. There we go. So I'll put the BPA. Bring this up. Make it zoom in. Make it zoom in again. Make it zoom in again. There we go. How many times do I have to make it zoom in? Alright, so theoretically, BPA should be consistent, or else I have to recalibrate it to what I have now. Alright, so right now where we're at, the chain right now is just ever so slightly a tad bit off, just a little too tight, just a little bit, but per the specs we're good. So I'm just going to recalibrate this to our new chain, because this is only going to measure your chain slack for this bike, and it's where it's at. I think if I take the whole thing apart, then I put it back and I have to recalibrate it again. I think. But again, we're not that off, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to calibrate this guy to dead center. Let me check something real quick. I think I got this installed wrong. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. So I'm going to take this link right here, this one right here, bring it up. There we go. Yeah, it's okay. So I'm going to bring this in ever so slightly. Right there, I want to center it. And this is going to be my new center. Bring it to the right a little bit. Right there. Tighten up the center bolt so everything stays center. That's tight. And boom. So from here on out, this is my perfection for the chain, for my chain. Take this off. Oh, and how this happened. Let me show you how this guy happened. So there's a, I'm at a light. This is the light. I'm right here with my bike. There's a median over here. And I'm gonna go this way to the right, but there's a big pebble here, like a 3 to 4 inch pebble. So pebble, I'll call it a rock. Sorry for calling it pebble, I just keep on calling it pebbles. So there's a rock here. So when I start turning to the right, I look to the left because there's a car coming, but not too, it wasn't too close, it was pretty far, but I just always look to the left just for being cautious. But focusing over there, I forgot about the rock. So what happened is I hit the rock. The rock made the bike go a little higher than usual. Obviously, it's a 3 to 4 inch rock, so it's a 3 to 4 inch lift. So it hit the front wheel over there, made me jump up, throttle down, obviously, because my hands are down. So when my bike went up, my hands went down, my throttle went a little over and went over the median. There was no cars coming this way, so went over the median, and then that's where my rim got bent because I actually hit the median. The median was a little high. It had like a concrete rib on the side, so yeah, I went over that rib. The rib bent my rim, went over the median onto the oncoming traffic, but there wasn't any traffic coming either. Because before I made that turn, I made sure I was clear on both sides. I'm still a new driver for this, so yeah, went over median, then went to a business on the other side, made a U-turn, and off I went to my destination, which was work that day. So that's how that happened. So guys, if you guys see a pebble or rock or anything, stay away. Focus on that. Make sure that your coast is absolutely clear, and don't travel if you got cars coming. Even if they're far away, just make sure it's clear enough for you to just make your move, focus on anything in your way so you can dodge it, and then keep on going on your way. Don't commit my error. So yeah, I got a little bit of a bent. So what I did was I bought a new rim, or a used rim, and I bought a new tire. I plan on taking this tire off soon, this whole rim with the tire off, and putting the other one that I have in the basement on while I have this thing repaired. So that's the plans, and yep, told you guys I'm going to give you that bonus. So, and this is just something I want to show you guys real quick, just so you guys can see the difference between going with a caliper versus looking at the lines. When you go with the caliper, we already saw that it's perfectly aligned on the rod. We got our measurements here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this number 7, I can actually get the pick in, right? Remember that. You can see the line. The block is barely touching that line right now. So we're going to go on the other side. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can see clearly, see that the line is off. See that? So I get it, 7, 7, right? But over there, the block is barely starting to cover it. Over here, you can clearly see the line. So that's the difference of caliper gauging. You know, this is okay. We can go by the blocks. That's what they're made for. But I prefer the caliper due to precision. See that right there. You got 25.51 on the chain, 25.57 on the caliper. Difference 0.06 millimeters. If I would have gone by the line, I probably would have gotten a bigger difference.